Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy JP, and I'm back with another banger. If you haven't yet, I've already made a form breakdown on Curry, so be sure to peep it. But never have I ever made one for his little bro Seth. So let's compare both of the Curry brothers' form, and at the end, I'll give you my take on who's the best brother of the two. Let's get started. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Both Steph and Seth have their feet tilted, meaning their feet are never squared towards the rim. Now there are times where they'll have their feet squared towards the rim, but they never land squared. If they're ever in a situation like pulling up off their strong side or in a catch and shoot situation, they'll start squared to the rim, then they'll rotate in midair for their elbow to be aligned to the rim. When it comes to their main foundation of their base, they're both different. Usually Steph likes to start with a narrow base. Meanwhile, Seth likes to have a bit of a wide base, and that's okay. We all have our own preferences. You may be wondering, do they jump up and down, or do they use the sweep and sway? Both players at times jump up and down and use the sweep and sway. But Seth Curry is the main player who really uses the sweep and sway. Comparing his base to Steph's, you could really tell that his feet sweep forward than Steph's. Now Steph does utilize the sweep and sway, but he doesn't jump as far like his little brother Seth does. Now as a shooter, it's great to either start narrow or wide, it's your preference. But how do they land? Seth is the only player who has a consistent landing base, meaning after his release, he lands the same every single time. Meanwhile for Steph, you will barely see him land with the same base all game long. Sometimes he'll land narrow, and then you'll see him landing wide, like he's doing the splits. Now from experience, I think us as shooters, especially when we're feeling it, we sometimes don't even worry about our landing and we just release the ball up with no cares. And I think that's one reason why Steph has an inconsistent base. Having an inconsistent base is something I wouldn't want to teach, and wouldn't want you to do either. It's just extra stuff that you don't need. Just shoot the rock. Let's get to their hand placement. Both Steph and Seth like to place their hands on top of the ball with their fingers spread apart. Meanwhile, they both do use the palm rotation when it's needed. As a shooter, you gotta remember that we always won't be able to catch the ball perfectly and place our hands on the ball at the perfect spot, which is why they use the palm rotation when they need it from catch and shoot situations and shooting off the dribble. Steph is a middle finger shooter, meaning the last finger to come off the ball and has the most influence is his middle finger. To my knowledge, I really want to call Seth a middle finger shooter as well, but from watching multiple clips, it's a bit tough to see his release. There's times when it looks like he shoots with all 5 fingers, then there's times where it looks like he shoots with his middle finger. To be on the safe side, I'll have to label him another time when the problem has been solved. I don't want to give y'all the wrong information. Both Steph and Seth are one motion shooters who shoot the basketball in one motion, but Seth is overall a better scorer in the mid-range area than Steph because of Seth's versatility. Now some of you may be curious, so let me explain myself. Steph and Seth, yes, can shoot the ball on both levels from mid-range area to the NBA and beyond. Are they similar when it comes to range? I don't think so, but Seth has 2 jump shots. Seth has 1 jump shot when it comes to set shots and shooting off the dribble and etc. But when it comes to pulling up in the paint full speed or shooting fadeaway shots, Seth does it all with a 2 motion shot, which is his second jumper. Seth has the ability to fade away from his defender, shoot turnaround shots when needed, and can run full speed into the paint and shoot a well-controlled shot because of his second jumper. Now I'm not saying Steph can't fade away from his defender or shoot turnaround jump shots, which he can, but he doesn't use it in games unless it's a do or die moment throughout the game. Even when Steph pulls up into space, he shoots either a runner or pulls up into his jump shot, which is his normal one motion shot. Both brothers use a thumb flick during their release, and both have different techniques when doing so. Steph likes to thumb the ball by tucking his offhand thumb inwards. Meanwhile, for Seth, he likes to tuck his thumb inwards as well, but he rotates his whole offhand towards the rim, similar to a Kyrie Irving. Normally in games, Steph thumbs the ball but never does anything extra with his offhand. Now let's take a peep at him in practice. Notice how after his release, his offhand softly touches his shooting forearm. This technique is called the offhand touch. By utilizing the offhand touch, it gives your form balance and it helps anyone in need that has any guide hand issues. The Curry bros both have similar shot lines that run slightly in the middle of their body, then as it starts to reach their face, it flows back to their strong side of their body. By keeping your shot line simple and straight, you allow yourself to have a straighter and much smoother shot. Lastly, let's talk about the release points. Some call it set points, but if you've been rocking with the channel for a while, you know that I call a set point for one motion shooters a release point because they never set the basketball anywhere because they shoot in one motion. Now for all players, it's natural to have a different release points depending on where they are on the court. Some may have a high release point when they get by the high school 3-point line, but when they get to the NBA line, that release point is a bit lower, and that's something that I've noticed with Steph. Steph has an eyebrow release point at times, but when he starts to move back and beyond the NBA line, his release point starts to get lower, at times by his eye and even close to his chin. For Seth, he has a high release point, the big bro. Seth likes to release the ball slightly above his eyebrows, which will be his forehead. Both players are knockdown shooters, but who's the best of the two? I would say Steph. Not because he's my favorite player, but it's just in history. No one has ever done what Steph has been doing for the past couple years. So for now, Steph takes the lead, not only because of his great shooting ability to shoot the basketball, but because of his coach. His coach gives him the green light to shoot any shot around the court that he wants to because he has the faith in him. Meanwhile, for Seth, his team already knows Seth is a sniper, but he hasn't really gotten the opportunity to really pop out yet due to his elite line of guards that they have over there in Portland. So we'll see what happens. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end, comment down below a W so I know that you completed the video. You already know to like, comment, subscribe, and share because we are growing and getting better together. It's your boy JP Productions. Till next time.